youtube.com/openupyourmind101.
Tonight, we have a special guest here to talk about the Illuminati's takeover of hip-hop. We have the internationally known educator, writer, producer, musician, platinum recording artist, spoken word artist, lecturer, and founding member of the great pioneering revolutionary hip-hop group Public Enemy, Professor Griff, with us this evening to drop the big boot on ignorance. What's going on, Professor?
Greetings. How you feel, good brother?
Greetings. Glad to have you here on the show, brother.
Oh, it's nice to be here. We need to correct one thing. I'm not the founding member of, I'm not the founder of Public Enemy. I'm just one of the founding members that helped establish what you know today as Public Enemy. So we need to get that. We need to get that correct before that goes out there. Because once the arrow leaves the bow, you can't call it back.
I hear that. Definitely. I should say one of the founding members.
Right.
My mistake. But I want to say peace and hotep to you for coming on the show. And I know you're lecturing, teaching, instructing, writing, still producing and performing musically. How do you keep it all in ma'at or in balance?
First of all, thank you for having me. Keep it all in balance, keep it kind of all grounded, and keep it in check. I don't take on the spirit of me trying to be a star. I don't take on the spirit of me trying to be famous. I don't take on the spirit of there's a big I and a little you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In most cases, when I meet people, I try to bring out the God essence in people. I have a philosophy that I tell people that know me personally will tell you. Professor Griff, he lives by this these sayings that you constantly hear him say. It's everything for everyone and nothing for ourselves. Mm-hmm. I am because we are. Therefore, I am. I let people go first. I give people more, so no one will have anything to complain about. If you ever roll in with Professor Griff, and I got $5, and there's 20 of us, we gonna eat. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, right. We gonna eat regardless, and we not gonna rob nobody, and we ain't gonna sell nobody no death. You understand what I'm saying? But we gonna eat. Right. Trust me, we gonna eat. But that's just how I live, man. And it's like. I don't take anything from anyone. If you look at the 42 declarations, the 42 laws of Ma'at, it's a delicate balance there. And a lot of times we talk Ma'at, the truth, balance, justice, reciprocity, but I don't hear too many people breaking down these laws. And to get very personal with you, I don't mean to be long-winded, but to get very personal with you, I got the 42 laws of Ma'at sitting in front of my toilet bowl, man. So when you sit down, you have to see it. So the 42 principles of Ma'at, just breaking down a few. I have not committed sin. Now this is what I'm looking at every single day. I have not committed robbery with violence. I have not stolen. I have not slain men and women. I have not stolen food. I have not swindled offerings. I have not stolen from God. I have not told lies. I have not carried away food. I have not cursed. That one I got to work on. I have not closed my ears. I have not closed my ears to truth. I have not committed adultery. I have not made anyone cry. I got to work on that one also. I have not felt sorry without reason. I have not assaulted anyone. I am not deceitful. I have not stolen anyone's land. I have not been an eavesdropper. I have not falsely accused anyone. I have not been angry without reason. I have not seduced anyone's wife. Hell, that's only half of it. But if we put those into practice, we would balance this thing out. And then when you come off tour, like I do, performing in front of 100,000 people, 70, 80,000 people, women screaming at you, you're getting paid money, your pockets are fat now, chicks are coming at you, you're stepping in and out of $180,000, $200,000 limousines and this kind of thing, best hotels. but you got to come right back to the hood and do the work.
Yes.
Right.
That's a good idea too. I might have to put that up in my on that right in front of my throne. I mean, I have it up in here, but it's I know if I have it right in there, I'll probably be reading it every time I get on the throne. So that's a good idea. That's a really good idea.
Speaking to though, man, is no matter what you got going on, you have to come back to a place of being humble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to. The word keeps coming up. You have to keep yourself centered. You have to keep yourself balanced. You know, it doesn't matter if you're driving a $200,000, whatever, or a $30,000 whatever. It doesn't matter if you're living in a 12-room mansion, a 6-room estate, or a 2-bedroom shack. You have to be humble, no matter where you are. I think that's probably one of the basic. All this ties into me, as far as I'm concerned, as far as a lot of us within our culture wanting, seeking material gain, that immediate satisfaction, because deep down we're not centered, we're not humble, we're not balanced. I'll leave it there. I don't want to start to take over things.
Now, the listeners know who you are and followed you for years, decades even. But I feel it's imperative to find out what spurred you on to seek and discover and teach knowledge path. What spurred you on to that? And that probably goes way before Public Enemy, if I would assume.
Oh, well, your assumption is absolutely correct. Way before Public Enemy, I was already doing lectures and I was already teaching. The early days of the Spectrum City days, I had my crew already established. We had study groups, martial arts groups, training, preparing. So way before the whole idea of Public Enemy, I was disseminating information, not as Professor Griff, because back then I was DJ Griff. Yeah, so coming up out of Long Island, I was DJing because Flash and these cats was just mesmerizing, man. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever he's doing with them 2 turntables, I got to figure out what that is. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? So when hip hop hit, I was more fascinated with the DJ as opposed to being an MC. Okay, I knew a couple little break dance moves. I wasn't really too good at art, so my name was Raggedy when I tagged it. So much so when the real taggers came along, they just X'd my joint out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was good at tagging, but the dancing I wasn't. I couldn't really. I could do my backspin. That was it.
Oh, I hear you. So,
only a backspin.
But that was it. That was it. Kind of like it in a nutshell, man. It was like it was just one of those kind of things where you kind of gravitate towards what you kind of feel you could do the best.
Now, was it grounded in? Were you grounded in the 5 percenters, or was it Islam, or what grounded you in?
Well, I think the thing that grounded me was my mom. Hell, shit. All that other stuff, I ain't trying to sound all deep, man. The hell with that. My mom will go upside your head, man. I'm the 7th son of 13 children. I'm the 7th son of the 12th child. Before all of that madness, man, my mom ruled with an iron fist. Miss Griffin ain't raised no punks, man. I got 6 brothers and 6 sisters. You understand what I'm saying? So before getting knowledge as we know it today, my mom was in the Baptist church, man, and some of them principles that wasn't even in the damn Bible, my mom was instilling those in the house. You understand what I'm saying? So, that we better know that one is.
Yeah, that's weird.
But when I first started to get knowledge as we know it today, my older brother, Ronald X at the time, he goes by the name of Anwar today, kind of took me under his wing, 10th grade. I was up in East High School in Rochester, New York. And that's basically where it started for me getting knowledge itself. When I came back, I had an idea of the path I needed to go on. So since then, it was just kind of lit. My brother Ronald X and my brother Michael X was assistant ministers and lieutenant in the Nation of Islam in the First Resurrection. So it was there. I had it. My father being a Blackfoot Native American, seeing the plight of the Native Americans, and then hearing and seeing what the Panthers was going through, the turmoil in the turbulent 60s, all that helped shape and mold the person that I am today, man. Father passing on when I was 6, looking for that leader to look up to, looking for that, that older brother. I had older brothers, man, but 5 or 6 of my brothers just out doing the damn thing out in the streets. So, so I had Che Guevara on the wall. I had Malcolm. I had the Panthers. I had John Smith and Tommy Smith and John Carlos, the fist in the air at the 1968 Olympics. I had Muhammad Ali on the wall. I had all the black light posters. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that helped shape and mold, where I am today.
No doubt.
Your father was Blackfoot.
Yeah, Native American, and it's almost like calling black people niggas if you just say Indians.
Right. Well, I was just gonna say that's interesting, man, because my grandmother's side of the family is Huron and Blackfoot. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's I embrace all aspects of my family. And it's interesting to me because when I start looking into the bloodlines, how those different things interact and come into play, and you realize that it's really no other people quite like us. I don't mean to try to say that we're better or whatever, but it's just very interesting to me. That's
now, brother, you need to stop. you need to stop that. Your girlfriend must be listening to something, man. Stop that. Stop that, man. There's no people like us because every people come from us.
No doubt.
So, yeah, I can stake that claim for you. I'm serious because, I'll say the rest of it for you.
I hear you.
Now, your latest book, I know you probably got a lot more coming up, but your latest book, The Psychological Covert War on Hip Hop, and it's about the Illuminati's takeover of hip hop.
Right.
It goes into many areas as a learning tool. In my opinion, because from reading it, I feel it's a learning tool because it has pretty much everything. You can go to one page and end up researching for about an hour through other books and on the web, and you're everywhere just from one page. My question is, first and foremost, many have heard of them, but what is the Illuminati?
That's a very good question because a lot of people in these kind of interviews really want to get deep, but no one asks the basic questions like that. Like, who are these people? What are these organizations? And who are these people proclaiming to be the illuminated ones? Yes. I just want to say from the rip, man, from the beginning, we as a melanated people are the illuminated ones. Everything that these people have, they stole, borrowed from us. So when you say Illuminati, in most cases nowadays, you're talking about 13 bloodlines. You're talking about the people that established themselves in 1776, even prior and before that, even before then. But they call themselves holders of the light. There's different fractions of the Illuminati. We need to keep that in mind. There's different factions. So you're not talking about just one group of people. They're branched off into many different factions. So a lot of times in the Illuminati, when people say the Illuminati, I think they're talking about the Colombian faction of the Illuminati. They consist of 13 bloodlines. So when you go through the bloodlines, right, so you don't see the Jay-Z's and Kanye West and Rihanna and them. They're not part of the bloodlines. They're not Illuminati. These people are not part of the Illuminati. They may be carrying out the agenda of the Illuminati, but they're not the Illuminati. So the Illuminati, like I said, there are 13 bloodlines, and a lot of times when you hear about people marrying their third and fourth cousin, these things are true among these people because they keep it in the family, so to speak, keep it in the bloodline.
Wow.
So,
Griff, may I ask you this?
Yes.
Now, I know you've heard of it, just as many of us have. Have you ever looked into the term blue bloods and what it comes from?
Now, brother, have you read my book?
I haven't. I have to say I haven't, but tonight I'm going to make sure to pick it up, brother, for sure.
You can call me directly if you want to get it, 678-557-2919, or you can order it on the internet through your PayPal at pcwhiphop@gmail.com. But you got to read the book. You're going to ask a question like that. You haven't read the book. It's so like Mao Zedong said, no investigation, no right to speak. But to answer your question, I don't mean to put you on the spot. I know that brother thinks, hey, that's the second time Griff came at me. But nah, to answer your question directly, yeah, I've looked into it. As a matter of fact, I looked into it about 15, 20 years ago. So when I seen it coming up in hip-hop, I already knew what it was.
Right.
I already know that, the 3 degrees in Freemasonry in most cases, the York Rite or the Scottish Rite, dealing with Freemasonry. I know the 3rd degree is the Blue Lodge. I know the color blue is a color of deception. So these things I know. I know the blue bloods. I know when you're occupying the White House, it's not necessarily the White House, but it's a bloodline. So I understand that. But my problem is, and my quest is to try to get other people to understand it without it sounding real fantastic.
Right, or dramatic. Right. Well, because I began to research it maybe not 20 years ago, maybe 5, 6 years ago myself. And when I started looking into these so-called 13 satanic bloodlines, again, as Chills mentioned, once you start researching something, I'm the type of person, dude, that I'll come across some names or phrases, whatever, places, whatever the case may be, and I'm going to go research that, see what I can find. But anyway, I keep coming up with this name, Clovis 1. I'm like, okay. And from there, you can go back up. You can see how, tracing back to this Clovis 1, everything is spread out. And what I tried to do in showing people that way is that, I think what gets people is, okay, well, how does something like this become so widespread? How does it even begin? And the analogy I like to use is if, I'm a warlord in a certain, township or community way back in the day, and I've already exerted my power and authority, and I have my underlings and my little minions, doing my bidding, right? But I want to go forth and conquer other lands. So what do? I have sons. I send one to the south. I send one to the north. I send one to the west. You feel me? And that's basically what I came up with when I, started getting into Clovis 1. It's easy to spread influence when you look at it that way. It's not that hard to see, but you have to be able to wrap your mind around a starting point and how it begins. And I think that's where a lot of people get, they start looking at it like, oh, that maybe is too fantastic, like you were saying, Matt. But yeah, I digress, bro. I'll let you continue.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm answering the questions as they come, bro.
Yes, sir.
Now,
go on. No, go on.
Now, I was trying to find out. You were talking about the 13 the bloodlines.
Right. Exactly. So when talking about the 13 bloodlines, we have to understand. Now that we figured out who the families are, we have to go get into the deeper science of what is the agenda. And this is a basic question that a lot of young people ask. I find a lot of older people don't ask that question. They don't want to know what the agenda is. But the agenda is for global domination. The agenda is to make us debt slaves. So when you talk about the Crown of Council of 13, all right, and then you get into the Committee of 300, which is the world's most richest and most powerful sub-families. Numerology is very big to them. Occult magic, black, white magic, rituals is very, very critical to them because now it trickles down. And then when you talk about the powerful sub-families, we have to talk about the organizations that they've created. We have to talk about the Trilateral Commission. We have to talk about the Council on Foreign Relations, which is the CFR, which is the Illuminati in America. You have to talk about the, just like off the top of my head, the Royal Institute of International Affairs, Club of Rome, Bilderberg Group, pardon me. And then you have to put certain institutions in place to carry out the agenda. You have to put in place the UN, which is the United Nations. That particular land was donated by one of the 13 Bloodlines, Rockefellers. You have to put in place the roundtable groups, the think tanks. You have to control people. You have to control the finance, the whole economic structure. You have to control the World Bank. You have to set up banks, but you have to control the World Bank. You have to control international banks. You have to control the International Monetary Fund. You have to control the World Bank. You have to control the IRS. You have to control all the natural resources. You have to control the money, the banks, the oil, gas. So you have to control Shell, BP, Citgo, Chevron. You have to control MasterCard, Visa, Discovery. You understand what I'm saying? In order to control the religions, governments, the education system, you got to control the media. And this is large. So people call me saying, well, what is the Illuminati? And they want it in a nutshell, and you can't do this without studying.
No, not at all.
You can't.
Yeah.
So by the time it trickles down to controlling the vast majority of billions of people by controlling the weather with HAARP and spreading chemtrails and this kind of thing, putting fluoride in the water, making everyone debt slaves. You have to look at the entire structure and what they control. So to say 13 families, and then we're what? We're 29 minutes into this, and we still haven't mentioned all of the families. See, these are basic things that we need to know. We need to know that they're the Rothschilds, the Astors, the Bundys, Collins, DuPont, Freeman, I believe, Kennedy, Lee, Onassis, Rockefeller, Disney, Russell, the Van Dunn family, Maravigian family, and the Reynolds family.
Wow.
Now, I didn't say McDonald's one time, but McDonald's is associated with the Illuminati. Then we have to talk about the countries that they operate in: America, England, Israel, Australia, China, Japan. Then we have to talk about the Trilateral Commission. We have to talk about the financial groups, research institutions, and other secret societies: Skull and Bones, Bohemian Grove, Knights of Malta, the P2 Lodge. We have to talk about what they own and control. They control this madness that you see on Fox. He's having these discussions, and you scratch your head like, what the hell are they talking about? They control all the politics. They control government leaders and the Supreme Court and the Electoral College, which elects the President of the United States. They control intelligence agencies, CIA, NSA, FBI, KGB, the Mossad, Homeland Security. They control religions. They concocted this thing called Christianity. Then they control it by running these certain churches and these organizations through the National Council of Churches, the World Council of Churches. And they control these Christian fundamentalists, the Jimmy Swaggarts and the rest of these characters. They control the entire educational system, running it through UNESCO and the World Union and the World Federalist Association. So they control corporations and multinational corporations, banks, which support the entire New World agenda. So when you talk about the Carlyle Group, when you talk about the Rand Corporation, Walmart, Ford Motors, Chrysler, ITT, Johnson & Johnson. So the people that you make the toilets, you should wipe your behind. Them too. CBS, all the alphabet boys. CBS, NBC, ABC, PBS, CNN, MTV, BET, all the magazines.
All the alphabet.
New York Times, Time, Newsweek, Washington Post.
Wow. They, like Dr. Francis Quest Wilson always say, give them A pluses. Say, give them A pluses.
They doing their job. Now the thing is, can we recognize what they're doing, and can we get on our job?
Yeah, that's the question. That is the $1 million question right there.
So in speaking about Francis Cress Wilson, it's very valuable to put what the sister taught in her book, The ISIS Papers, The Keys to the Colors. We have to put a working fundamental definition of what racism, white supremacy is, because if we leave that element out, as Neely Fuller teaches us, everything that we think we understand will only confuse us. So we have to know what racism, white supremacy is about. And I hear a lot of young people talking about, oh, man, there's a black president now, so the racism stuff is dead, man. Stop that, man.
Right.
Amos Wilson asked us to ask people, if racism is dead, then whose clothes you wear, whose food you eat, whose name you wear, whose God that you pray to.
Exactly. Now you spoke about Christianity and the onslaught, because all pretty much what I want to figure out is, did they take over Christianity, or were they there from the beginning?
Well, the concepts that the Christian religion is built on are African spiritual concepts.
Yes.
So to borrow from that and to plagiarize and take the stories and plagiarize them and change the face and change the names and change the dates and this kind of thing, that actually, just came in and hijacked these African spiritual concepts, made them a god after Zeus and after Serapis, and they concocted this madness and came up with this thing called Jesus. And they say it real quick and real fast because they slick, Jesus Christ. But Christ is not a name. Christ is a title.
Yes.
So when we go back and we look at the blonde-haired, blue-eyed dude on the cross bleeding, then we go into the scripture and we found the Illuminati there. So when I used to give this particular talk, I'm dealing with racism, white supremacy, and when it talks about it controls the 9 areas of people activity, it controls economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, underlying religion, sex, and war. What religion do they control? Christianity is the religion that was concocted and made up by these illuminists, and they came up with a God called Jesus, and they forced it on the people. This is why they had to push the whole Christopher Columbus thing on us, because the people that control and that are in control, when we talk about the Illuminati, is the Columbian, the Columns, Columbia, Columbus. That's why he had to discover America and tell that big fat damn lie, because these are the people that's controlling it, and they operate from a district called District of Columbia. And their logo was the dove. The Columns was the dove. This gives you a peep into what happened at Columbine High School, the doves. But their logo is the owl, like the owl that you see at Bohemian Grove. And we know the science behind the owl. The owl sees, they said the owl is wise. And the owl sees in the dark. And the owl is able to turn the head around 360 degrees. So we have to understand they operate from the District of Columbia, which is 10 by 10 square miles. This is how come when you look at any watch ad, the time is always 10:10.
Wow. People got to get their notepads out. I'm telling you. Here's the thing. Now you were speaking about the artists now that are they merely the Illuminati's tools, or they're not, being as though they're not a part of the group Illuminati, but are they just the tools? And my second part to that question is that is that the reason they have to have maybe Illuminati sacrifices in order to, or they have to perform certain acts to be added to whatever secret society that they're added to?
That's a mouthful. You got to narrow that question down. I had pulled up.
Well, it's good.
Overload. I can't.
Yeah, I can understand.
I'm not that bright. I can't figure all that out. Now you got to narrow that down.
All right, I'll start with the first part, which is, are the artists really the clearest example of Illuminati tools? Are these artists that we see, like the Rihannas and the Jay-Z's and such and such, are they just the Illuminati's tools?
Are they the clearest example? Is your question? I'm trying to narrow it down. Is that your question?
Yes.
No, not at all. Absolutely not. No. No. Government leaders are. Politicians are. They're the clearest examples because we see this every day. We're affected by their laws every day. I give less than a damn whether or not Jay-Z came out with another song. That don't affect my life. What these government leaders is doing, what your man Barry Davis is doing, Barack Obama, what he's doing affects my life. You understand what I'm saying? So no, Jay-Z and the rest of these characters, Kanye West and these flunkies, no, they not. No. They mean something to most black people that's caught up in the matrix. Don't mean anything to me. I could give these dudes sing songs, man. Let's be real, bro.
Yeah.
They sing songs, man. I mean, I could do without a damn song. If Jay-Z never came out with another song, I'd be happy. It won't affect my life. So they're not the clearest example. They may be the clearest example of a 14, 15-year-old that's looking through the lens of a culture called hip-hop. And something that they can identify with, because they may not know who these other people are, who the neocons are. That kind of stuff needs to be explained to them. So when I point stuff out and I'm talking to a 14-year-old, I gotta bring it down to their level and get them to understand and give them examples on their level. And this is what you are hearing when I talk about the Illuminati. Do not talk about a grown-up conversation that we can have where we can get into politics and we can start talking about the big boys. I'm talking about a few little agents, man, in the music industry, and trying to point out examples there because, that's what I'm gearing this whole thing toward. I'm dealing with it on an 8th grade level. I'm trying to reach that 13, 14-year-old. So but I'm having issues with the mom and dad. I'm like, wait a minute, your son and your daughter is calling my phone 2:30 in the morning. Like, Professor Griff, this is Daniel. I'm only in the 9th grade, but I just want to know, man, is this Illuminati real? I'm like, this is the kind of stuff I get. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
my first question is like, it's 2:30 in the morning. Where's your mom and dad? Right. Oh, they in church. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, anyway, so that's what I'm faced with, and that's what I'm dealing with. And we have to start speaking truth to power, man, and dealing with it as such. And a lot of us just not. We're just not being upfront and honest with the average 14 and 15-year-old.
Yeah.
And you know when you call my phone, you know what you're about to get. I'm rough, rugged, raw, and straight to the point. I'm not going to beat around no bush with you. If you ask the question, then you own the answer.
Definitely. Now, when and why, like, everyone wonders this. I mean, when did they first really key in on hip-hop and why?
Well, I often give the timeline in my lecture when I talk about the content, the oral tradition in hip hop. When if you didn't go there, you didn't participate, then you knew nothing about it because it wasn't on the radio. Nobody was handing out, flyers via text. There was no Twitter. There was none of this stuff. If you didn't get on the train, go to the Bronx. You understand what I'm saying? Experience what was going on. You didn't know about it. only way you knew that something was going on is when the brothers tagged the trains, and the trains came out to Long Island and Jersey and, Yonkers and these other places. That's how you knew. When the trains went through Brooklyn, went through Queens, went through Staten Island, Governor's Island, Reese Island, and these other places, it's like, oh, something is going on because we read it on the trains. We read the graffiti. We knew something was going on. So when we went out there and you had to experience it, then it kind of caught on, and you heard your first quote unquote rap record. Then even when it caught on, remember back in the days, the critics were talking about, it's only a fad, it's only going to last for about maybe 5 years.
Yeah.
That's what they were saying. And then when the golden era of hip-hop hit, and they heard Queen Latifah, Big Daddy Kane, Poor Righteous Teachers, Brand Nubians, KRS-One, God forbid, when they heard Public Enemy, it was over. They like, we have to stop this. Then Ronald Reagan and his hench boys and some people behind the scene manufactured this thing called gangster rap and promoted it and threw money at it, made movies about it, because they went into the genre of hip-hop, the culture of hip-hop, and they chose to put money behind the lowest essence of hip-hop. They didn't make movies about the conscious golden era, did they?
No.
That's what I remember.
No,
they threw money.
Hood and
Excuse me?
I said no, but you got all kind of boys in the hood and
it's the society and these kind of things. Right. And if the rappers weren't being rappers in the movie, the young people knew who the rappers were, so it became a quote unquote unspoken kind of hip hop rap film or movie.
Mm-hmm.
And they played out certain themes so that we're gonna follow it. And we did. So crime went up, pimping went up, balling, out of control went up, robbing people. Then they married these particular negative elements onto hip-hop. Jail culture, street gangsterism, you understand what I'm saying? Pornography with Luke in Florida. They married all of this onto hip-hop. And it became hip-hop. And what they did was then slowly after that, we went into the whole gay, bisexual, metrosexual phase of hip-hop. Now, people can't even determine who they are and what they are.
Sagging pants and shit, yeah.
They had to dumb it down, and these are covert operations that are going on inside of hip-hop. And this is what you're getting now.
So, can you speak to what sacrifice and ritual sacrifice means to these people? Like, if you could...
When you say these people, like, who do you mean when you say these people?
Like the Illuminati. Can you give an example?
Okay. Let's be really clear, because we got that 13-year-old that's listening to this. You understand what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Okay.
If you could give an example as to what ritual sacrifice means to the Illuminati, as well as, like I said, give an example, like, have you seen it go on at any, music award shows or that type of thing?
First of all, no. Okay. Not at all. They don't operate that way. The Illuminati is a secret society. There are many different secret societies under the Illuminati. There's different rituals that go on in different secret societies. All of them are not the same. The ritual that may go on in the Knights of Malta may not go on in the Skull and Bones. It may not go on the Boule. What I did was I pointed out that these things are going on simply because I started to see it. Mm-hmm. When you start to see the influx of bisexuality, homosexuality in a genre of music called hip-hop, and hip-hop came out being very masculine, you tend to ask the question, where did this come from? Right. The average hip-hop was hard.
Yeah.
Thrived on being hard. Matter of fact, we tried to be the hardest.
No doubt.
Big cats now wearing women's clothes and carrying man purses and earrings and all this kind of cute little stuff. It's like, where is this coming from? What agenda is this? So when I pointed it out at first, we looked into the rituals and the initiation rituals inside of different secret societies, and we tried to pinpoint why they're going through this homosexual ritual in hip-hop. And this was a discovery that the Illuminati have infiltrated hip-hop and set up shop in hip-hop like they did the Masons. One guy called me and said, my dad is a Mason and my uncle is a Mason. Are they evil? No, they're not evil. Uncle Drunk-Ass, Uncle Leroy, no, he ain't evil. He probably knows nothing about what we're talking about. Every Mason is not part of the Illuminati.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? So we have to understand it. But to answer your question directly, is there a human sacrifice going on? Is there a blood sacrifice going on? Yes, there is. Are people sacrificing members of families unbeknownst to them? Yes, they are. I used to talk about, blood in, blood out. I used to talk about once you're in, you cannot get out. Hell, we're familiar with that with the average gang member. They'll tell you that. The average fraternity and sorority on the college campus. You got to go through initiation to get in. You got to walk the line. And you can't become a member until you cross over, right or wrong. All that is steeped in deep, deep ritual.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So let's look at some rituals. I'm just gonna point some things out because I can't get too deep into this. All right. I just want to point some things out. Let's look at Whitney Houston. Let's ask some questions about Whitney Houston. Now listen. I'm just asking the questions. I'm the defense attorney, all right?
All right.
Okay. Why would you leave a dead body upstairs for 11 hours while you party downstairs?
Wow.
Why would you film Whitney Houston passing a note to Brandy and then Brandy not coming forth to tell the world what was on the note when shortly after the note was passed to her, Whitney Houston died in a damn bathtub, submerged in water, face down, with no water in her lungs?
Wow.
Why was Ray J acting strange and crazy after the note was passed to his sister? These are just some questions that we're throwing around out there for people to step up and step forth and answer. Why, when Christians come at me and I let them know that, listen, yeah, you witnessed the blood sacrifice, the human sacrifice, they're like, what do you mean? Isn't that how the Christian religion began? With the death of Jesus, human blood sacrifice.
Exactly.
Right. So that's the major one.
Wow. I mean, and these have, what I've pretty much read up on a lot of this, and we also see a lot of it, like with Kanye's mother being another example of it. And also, I think Aaliyah was also one, if I'm not mistaken.
Brother, that short list I gave 5-6 years ago, that's child's play, man. There's a list that's being formulated now by some of the people I do research with that'll blow your mind. Not only in the music industry, but sports players and movie stars, and come on, man.
And it's not just in the music industry.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Wow. And I was wondering, and this is what part of the question I was asking earlier, are these sacrifices that have to be made to induct these people at least on an entry level, not in the Illuminati, but for them to be successful in whatever venture they're in?
The Illuminati want them to be successful because they want to be able to control them. And okay, we'll make you wealthy. Not wealthy, we'll make you rich because you could never be wealthy with them. You could be rich. You can drive around in the nicest cars and all that kind of thing. But you can't control politics. You can't wield any real power around. You can go to the club and make it rain, but that's it. you ain't really doing anything else with your money. Fly starting to school. We'll put a bullet in you. Try educating black people. They'll put a bullet in you. Try putting some money behind the defense. I mean, not the defense, but the prosecution of George Zimmerman, who murdered Trayvon Martin. Tell Jay-Z to put $1 million behind that to see that the young brother get justice. They'll put a bullet in Jay-Z. Try doing something positive. They'll take you right on out of here, man. They'll neutralize you. So you can't do anything positive with your money. You can go to the club and floss in front of black people, and that's it. You can't do anything positive.
Yeah, I think another Johnny Cochran is an example of that as well. I mean, he was pretty much doing a lot of things on the down low, and all of a sudden he turned up dead. Well, I forgot how he died, but I know that
I think he died of a brain aneurysm. But we have to look at it and not be real spooky about it. Everybody that dies is not sacrificed, and a lot of people have taken that and they've ran with it without proof. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about Johnny Cochran right now because I don't want people to think that I am. But we have to keep in mind, some people just still eat damn pork, drink, smoke, and live in a bad damn life, and their ass just die.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Looks okay. Okay, they fall off a bar stool at the strip club and they hit their head and they die. Okay, we have to look at that. There wasn't no sacrifice. Some people just live that kind of life. We can't say every death is a blood sacrifice, because along with the blood sacrifice, we got to look at it like, okay, now, but who benefits? Who is benefit from the death?
Yeah,
that's what we have to look at.
Yeah, and someone does benefit from Whitney's death. And now they can.
It's on the wall, man. That's easy to see. You could just listen to what they say on the news and start writing certain names down and see who's connected to what.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the same person that benefits from her death would benefited from Biggie's death. You know, and I mean, and after he died, you know how many albums he sold.
Well,
go ahead.
No, go on. I'm listening. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And now, as we see in the past, a few weeks ago, now they can bring you back on stage after you die.
Yeah, I think Jay-Z should have warned us about these 360 deals, because now they've been owning your likeness and your name, so now they don't even need you alive. As a matter of fact, they will knock you off, and then they could have you on stage 3 years later in a hologram and have you performing with Elvis or some damn body.
The thing is, they'll make more money off of your death
Exactly.
than they will while you're alive. I mean, look at Pac, man. You know,
Right.
Pac's legacy, if you will, has released more albums after his death than he did when he was alive. He got more songs out there now than he did before, and people eating it up because it's Tupac.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
And one of the last few albums that he did make while he was still alive, dude was talking about Illuminati, kill the Illuminati, and all these different types. He on his compilation CD, All Eyes on Me, dude was talking about how dirty the game is when he was speaking in that song, In the Hearts of Men. You know what I mean?
Right.
If cats actually just sit up for a minute and listen to some of these lyrics that these cats are putting out there, man, they saying a lot of shit.
They are.
You have to see it for what it is.
Right.
Now, what was your opinion on that Tupac hologram?
I don't deal with opinion, bro. I don't go on feelings. I drop the actual facts to the best of my knowledge, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get into, I'm telling you what I believe. I don't get into that, man. We can argue about what Professor Griff believes all damn day. I don't get into that. There's this thing called Project Bluebeam, which I dropped on the people years ago, and I told y'all it was coming. Go back and get my DVD called The 4 Ps, Pimps, Politicians, Preachers, President in the Pulpit.
Wow.
I talked about Project Bluebeam a long time ago, and I said what they're going to start doing is owning these daggone rappers in these 360 deals, and at the end result they're going to end up bringing back Jesus in the last day, but it ain't going to be no real Jesus. It's going to be a hologram. And you know how many people are going to go crazy thinking a 2,000-year-old Jesus done made his way back?
Yeah.
So, and they're using that for military, dealing with military warfare, man.
Exactly. And we have a lot of different things going on that's that they could use that with, and like you speak about the 360 deals, and we see it in the history how they can take just they'll take your name from you. You can't use that name, or so now they can take your likeness, or they can pretty much make money off of your likeness even after maybe you've moved on, even if you're still alive or whatever. My
thing is, we need to look at the example that was given to us, a real live example. They did this to Prince. Remember Prince called himself the artist formerly known as?
Yes.
This is why he called himself that, because they owned his name and his likeness.
Dang.
These things are happening in front of us, man, but we won't open our eyes up wide enough to look into what's going on right in front of our faces, man. It's happening right in front of our faces, but we fail to learn the lessons of yesterday, man, in order to avoid the pitfalls.
Now, do these artists know that they're working for some, that this is an evil situation, or are they just oblivious to what's going on?
No, because if they're listening to us right now, they'll write this off as rhetoric. They'll write this off as, oh, that's a good show. Oh, that's that Professor Griff guy again talking about the spooky little boogeyman under the bed called the Illuminati. And they write it off, and they go on about business as usual. Until a family member comes up dead, until they're called in to do the dirty deed. Because, they will call you in. Now, listen, let me just give some homework assignments out, all right? Is that cool?
Yeah.
I am the professor, right?
Yeah. I already got Project Bluebeam written down, and Peter, the 4 Ps.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. The 4 Ps, Project Bluebeam. Let's go to, let me see. How about some entertainment, man? How about get some popcorn, some fruit juice, and gather the family around to watch a movie? First movie you need to watch is Brotherhood of the Bell. If you're within the sound of my voice, go to your Google, put in Brotherhood of the Bell. You're talking about actually showing you the ritual and how they work. The Devil Rides Out. Another movie.
That sounds interesting.
The Rothschilds.
They have a movie on the Rothschilds?
They had an actual movie on the Rothschilds. Black and white movie. It's out there. Rothschild. And they'll show you the story on how the families, the father had the sons that went out and that set up the banking system. Now, we better not go any deeper than that. Well, let's just keep a couple more. How about the Manchurian Candidate, which is very critical now because you're seeing the whole Manchurian Candidate thing being played out with Jennifer Hudson's family. You're talking about blood sacrifice. You know what this dude said on TV the other day?
What? What did he say?
They reported him saying, we're talking about the one that claimed that murdered Jennifer Hudson's family, right? They said that he was bragging about he had the murder weapon and he was driving a vehicle that transported the body of the little boy. But they can't find DNA and blood and all this kind of stuff to prove that the dude was even in the house. So guess what he said? And this is very key, and you can go back and you can research it. Recently, over the last couple of days, he said, this thing is bigger than me. That blew my mind. I'm like, it's bigger than you.
Interesting.
I mean, this evidence, there's always evidence out there of wow, but that right there, he's pretty much speaking to that there. He knows that there's far more involved than what I guess is being played out in the media.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you said what was the Devils? The Devils. What was that movie you said? The Devils.
The Devil Rides Out.
A Devil Rides Out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now listen. Now is this being recorded? Because I want proof of the next couple of statements that I'm about to make. Because I don't want anybody to get this twisted and run off half-cocked and damn crazy.
Oh no, this is recorded. Yeah.
Okay. If you do, this is the last homework assignment, by the way. If you do research, there's a document out there by Myron Fagan, Myron, last name Fagan, Fagan. Myron Fagan was interviewed by Anthony Hilder. And Myron Fagan laid out the entire story of the Illuminati.
Wow.
It's an audio, and you can hear it for yourself. It lasts about 25, 30 minutes, but you can sit on YouTube or a couple of the websites. You put in Myron Fagan, Illuminati is CFR, in a search engine, and it'll come up. I have the manuscript in front of me right now. Also, you can read the first book I read on the Illuminati. It's called Pawns in the Game. And if you know Professor Griff's history, that's what I call my first album.
Yes, Pawns in the Game.
Yeah. The whole first introduction of the entire book spells out the Illuminati story, as told by Mark Fagan.
Wow.
Now let me just give you aspects of what that story entails. Just a few, all right?
Definitely.
I'm skipping down. I'm just going to skip a few things. It says masterminds behind the great conspiracy have absolute control of all of our mass communication media, especially television and the radio and the press and Hollywood. It says we all know that the State Department, the Pentagon, and the White House have brazenly proclaimed that they have the right and the power to manage the news, to tell us not the truth, but what they want us to believe to be the truth. They have seized that power on orders from their masters of this great conspiracy. And the objective is to brainwash the people into accepting the phony peace bait to transform the United States into an enslaved unit of the United Nations one world government. Skipping down now, it says this satanic plot was launched back in 1760 when it first came into existence under the name of the Illuminati. This Illuminati was organized by one Adam Weishaupt, born a Jew, who converted to Catholicism and became a Catholic priest, and then, at the behest of the newly organized House of Rothschild, defected and organized the Illuminati.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Now, you could have this in your hands tonight. Look up Myron Fagan. And then Myron Fagan laid out 3 steps that they would carry out on how they would go about recruiting people into the Illuminati. Let me just read it real quick. It says, now, just why did the conspiracists choose the word Illuminati for their satanic organization? Weishaupt himself said that the word is derived from Lucifer, meaning holders of the light. Using the lie that this objective was to bring about a one-world government to enable those with mental ability to govern the world and prevent all wars in the future, in short, using the words peace on earth as their bait, exactly as that same bait, peace, was used in 1945 by the conspirators to force the United Nations on us. Now, you remember the United Nations land was given to them by the Rockefellers.
Yes.
Skipping down now, I'm skipping. It says the main features of Weishaupt's plan of operation required his Illuminati to do the following things to help them accomplish their purpose. Number 1, use monetary and sex bribery to obtain control of men already in high places in the various levels of all governments and other fields of endeavor. Once influential persons have fallen for the lie, deceit, and temptations of the Illuminati, they were to be held in bondage by application of political and other forms of blackmail, threats, and financial ruin, public exposure, and physical harm, even death to themselves and their loved members of their families.
Yeah.
Second, it says Illuminati and the faculties of colleges and universities was to cultivate students possessing exceptional mental ability, belonging to well-bred families with international leanings, and recommend them for social training in internationalism. Such training to be provided by granting scholarships to those selected by the Illuminists. What are these scholarships called? The Rhodes Scholars.
Yeah.
Do we have any black people and any white people that we know that are Rhodes Scholars? Yes, we do.
Yeah.
So these are only some of the things. And normally I don't when I do blog talk and other interviews, I don't read like that, but it's very important that we get down to the basics, man.
Yeah. A lot of people think that they know, but they really have no idea.
They have no clue, bro. They have no clue. They're not going to read Tragedy and Hope, 1,300 pages. They're not going to read that stuff.
Brother Griff, if you mentioned pawns in the game, and that's a particular work that I came across a few years ago myself, would you mind speaking to, just a couple of its basic tenets, a couple of things that it puts forth in terms of, what I like to call the orchestrated calamities, say like with Hitler, doing, World War I and II, certain things between, what is perceived to be the clash between the communist and anti-communist and that type of thing? If you
will. If we do basic research, we know that the capitalists invented communism. Each president has to have a boogeyman.
There you go.
They formulated the whole idea of communism and the Iron Curtain and all that kind of stuff right in downtown New York. The Illuminati boys put that thing together and sent them back over to Russia. They put together this thing called communism, and it's called the Hegelian dialectic principle. And that principle was laid out by William Guy Carr in the book Pawns in the Game. And a few other tenets that's there inside of his particular work. The Hegelian dialectic principle, and mind you, that William Guy Carr was a naval officer. That in and of itself should raise some antennas, because our good friend William Cooper was an intelligence naval officer. Now, what is it about the Navy? What is it about the Navy?
Wow.
The naval officers writing these books on this Illuminati stuff and these international global affairs and global politics that's going on. Something going on with the Navy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now I'm gonna have to research that, because that is a deep thing right there. I never really realized that he was.
I suggest you start watching the Military History Channel there, bro.
Right.
They've been
But you see, they don't invest billions of dollars into these things just for.
Now,
so we understand a particular dynamic. Now, no, I'm sorry. Go on. What were you saying?
No. Finish what you were saying. I was about to actually ask you about because we talked about blood rituals, but we didn't talk about the homosexual rituals that they're into. But
I alluded to it by simply saying that there are certain rituals that they do in certain secret societies.
Right.
That homosexual ritual is in rituals in the Skull and Bones, where you made them be in a coffin and tell all your sexual secrets and masturbate while you do it. These other rituals, sometimes, there's group sex sometimes other things that go on to bind you to them. This is how come freakish kind of lifestyle is so open to a lot of people in the music industry. Because these things are being played out. Now, as you see, they're bringing more and more older white men and bringing up charges of molesting children. You see all this stuff that's in the news?
Yeah. No doubt. No
This
doubt.
stuff is going on. Like, what's going on with these men taking up little boys? And guess what? Which this whole Penn State thing with Ed Duffy and all these other people that got biased, those little boys were black. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. Wow.
We got to look into that, bro.
See, and this is.
No, wait. That's not the clincher.
Wow, it's more. It's more.
That's not the clincher. They were black. They were black, yes, but guess who is on the campus of Penn State?
Oh shit.
Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, they are on the Penn State campus.
Yep.
Heavy. Wow.
That's real deep.
I mean, and is there more to it? Because I don't want to jump out there.
No, there's a little more to it, but I'll hold that. Okay.
But see, my thing is that now are they introducing this into hip hop as a part of like this homosexual agenda, and they're introducing it to hip hop, or was it always there?
No, it wasn't there. Now there are some people that were probably in the closet, kind of homosexuals. Mm-hmm. That this was the opportunity to come on out of the closet if you're gonna come at all. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm saying in other words that no, if you had hardcore brothers, oh man, it just bothers my soul to mention people's names. I really don't want to do that on this particular show, but you had hardcore brothers that are being found out now that they're dressing up late at night as transsexuals and these kind of things, roaming the streets and having all wild kind of crazy orgies, this kind of thing, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, these things that are being introduced into hip-hop, people think in order for you to be successful, you have to do these things, and you don't.
Wow. Now, that's something that I've wondered about. I thought that, is this something that's like gets introduced to people, and this is how you're going to get down, like we have with Will Smith and and a number of other people that have somewhat been outed over these years. But I guess like you're saying, you really don't. It's not something that you need, but I think people just jump into it, being as though they really don't have any sort of they want gratification, or they want the money, so when they're approached or whatever, they jump right into it, or it might be something that they're really into.
You're probably absolutely correct, but we can go deeper than that. Two things I want to get in before this 11 o'clock hour creep up on us. When you're talking about sexual rituals, and you got to remember, this is not our language, and signs and symbols shape reality. But now, listening to words, pictures come to mind when you're listening to the radio, and these rappers, and you are a fan of these rappers, and these rappers are telling you these fantastic stories. You're following their fantasy.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So then when you're listening to these words, a lot of these words already have sexual and homosexual connotations to them. Let me just give you some of these words. Are you buckling your seatbelt?
Yeah. Yeah, I got it.
This is from our good brother, Leola Africa. Dr. Leola Africa. Sex-related words. When someone said, you get mad at someone and someone says, screw you. Okay, well, what are you talking about? You're talking about a homosexual. When someone says, just stop riding my back. Get on my back. You're always on my back. That's a man riding another man's back, having sex with another man. When someone gets mad and says, you know something, man, this sucks. Well, what are you talking about? You suck what? When someone says, you whisper to your homeboy, yo, man, I got laid last night. Well, you laid, you got to think, what does this mean? The homosexual act. In most cases, we're talking about the opposite sex. But then further on, it says, get off my back. Why would somebody be on your back? Doing what? Oh, they're always riding me. Or when somebody a backstabber and someone's stabbing you from the back, they're having sex with you from the back. When someone says so-and-so has a lot of lip service, that's oral sex. I got ripped off last night. You mean you got raped? Yo, that blows my mind. That's like getting brains. You understand what I'm saying? Right. That blows. Oh, what you just said just blew me away. You blowing somebody. Or when they say you took a licking. Well, what are you licking? Or when somebody says, I'm doing everything I can do to get ahead.
Wow.
or the other one, yo, man, I had a ball last night. Well, whose balls did you have? Right. Or with someone, the boss or the supervisor on the job, yo, man, so-and-so is trying to stick it to me, man. So-and-so is trying to stick it to you. What is he trying to stick it to you?
Wow.
Or he's trying to stick it to me. Or the boss says, or the supervisor says, yo, you a jerk off. That means you masturbating, you jerking off. You understand what I'm saying? So-and-so got the drop on you, meaning they caught you when you dropped your pants and raped you. You understand? Or someone keeps saying in a conversation, okay, you don't understand? Let me put it another way.
Wow.
Or when Erykah Badu talked about a rim shot. Or a restaurant, Jack in a box. You jacking off in a box. Or we used to say back in the day, yo, so-and-so's a hard rock. Trying to play like you're a hard rock. And then white people always use this last term. Oh, man, you got laid last night? You a lucky stiff. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I see. I don't say none of these, but well, no, I probably have said one of these before. Actually, a couple of them, but I won't say it no more. Yeah, I mean, I was ignorant to it before talking to my brother Griff, so. So I can feign that. I ain't know what these meant. So I'm now, if I do it now, then that's a problem.
Right.
But someone, a young lady online, Betty Jo, she asked if you could speak to the president coming out talking, backing gay marriage.
Yeah. Yeah, that's critical, man. That's really critical. He said it years ago, but it wasn't law. It wasn't put into place and to establish and center laws and a behavior pattern around it, giving the okay. This speaks to the Illuminati's plan. What is her name? What's the sister's name again?
Betty Jo.
Betty Jo. Now, if Betty Jo was to go to Google and put in the secret covenant. It's called the secret covenant. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to read a few things. I'm really not one of these, as y'all know, man, I'm not one of these brothers, these kind of speakers that do lectures and read a lot of stuff because, for the most part, if you're about this, then you should know this. But I have to do this to make it real simple and plain, man. The secret covenant says, an illusion will be so large and so vast, it will escape their perception. Now, we speak to this homosexual thing because they plan on confusing the genders so they can weaken the people to put people in a position where you'll fall for laws because parents don't have any control over the young people anymore. It says those that will see it will be thought of as insane, i.e. Professor Griff. It says we will create separate fronts to prevent them from seeing the connection between us, meaning the factions of the Illuminati. It says we will behave as if we are not connected to keep the illusion alive. It says our goal will be accomplished one drop at a time, so as to never bring suspicion upon ourselves. This will also prevent them from seeing the changes as they occur, like today. It says we will always stand above the relative field of their experience, for we know the secrets of the absolute. We will work together always, and we will remain bound by blood and secrecy. Death will come to those who speak.
Wow.
It says we will keep their lifespan short and their minds weak while pretending to do the opposite. We will use our knowledge of science and technology in subtle ways so that they will never see what's happening. We will use soft metal aging accelerators and sedatives in their food and water, also in the air, i.e. chemtrails, fluoride in the toothpaste, fluoride in the water. It says, then they will be blanketed by poisons everywhere. McDonald's, Murder King, Drunken Donuts, Toxic Hell, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Dairy Queen, and some of these other damn places. Are you following me?
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Poisons will be absorbed through their skin and mouths. They will destroy, it says they will destroy their minds and reproductive systems from all of this. Their children will be born dead, and we will conceal this information. The poisons will be hidden in everything that surrounds them, in what they drink, eat, breathe, and wear. We must be ingenious in dispensing the poisons, for they can see far. We will teach them that the poisons are good, with fun images and musical tones. McDonald's. Those that look up. Right? Thank you. Those that look up, they look up to, will help. We will enlist them to push our poison, Jay-Z. All these characters doing these damn beer commercials and this madness. But anyway, I don't want to get into the whole covenant. That's part of it. That's only a couple of pages of it. All of this stuff is written in my book, The Psychological Covert War on Hip-Hop.
Yes, get it. Listen, and real quick, I'm going to tell y'all to get this book, man. I picked this up from Brother Griff on the Humbug. And he's a real dude. You know what I mean? Like I said, he wasn't like a whole bunch of people around him. He was by himself. And some of the top you got to get it. Some of these things, he talks about of course the Illuminati's takeover of hip hop, the synagogue of Satan, pimps, preachers, politicians, pedophiles in the pulpit. These are just some of in the table of contents. Money, madness, music, and mayhem, destroying hip-hop's appetite for self-destruction, from gangsters to gay. These heavy, man. Hustlers of culture. It's bigger than hip-hop. It's beyond beats and rhymes. I mean, this is a book you got to go out there and get, and it's, like I said, a teaching tool, man. You sit down with one page, and just one page, and you'll be all over the internet. Now, I wanted to ask this question. Now, I went to D.C. not too long ago, and I went on one of this tours with my brother Tony Browder, and we went to the Masons temples, a lot of the Mason temples, and we went to one of the big ones, a number of the big ones, and they had all these Kemetic symbols and stuff like that. But when we went to the Prince Hall temple, I didn't see any. I don't know what to make of that. I just wanted to present that to you. What do you think, from your research? What is the meaning of that? Why is there only Kemetic symbols in the white Masons as opposed to the black Masons?
Because that sacred science and that sacred knowledge they want to keep it to themselves. They know and understand that the black man and the black woman is the God and goddess. They understand. It's just that we don't understand it. We've been teaching it for a long time, but we've been catching flack from the damn Christians and other people. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
the white Masons, the Shriners, and the higher echelons of Freemasonry and other secret societies, they know who we are. This is how come when they graduate certain degrees, they get into the Quran, they get into the sacred science of ancient Kemet. They steal our sacred science because they know that's energetic and certain properties to these signs and symbols. They know that. We're just trying to educate our people so we can go get it back.
Yes, indeed. And that's when I looked at that, I was just like, dag, like we can't have our own symbols. We're not using our symbols, but they are, so they're supposed to capitalize on. We're supposed to allow them to capitalize off of that. It really bugged me to see that.
Right,
Brother Griff, you speak on the sacred science and its importance to us. Could you speak on briefly what makes it so important and what makes it so powerful, and why? Could you explain, to some of our listeners what makes it, what makes it so important to us? What makes it so powerful?
What makes what so powerful?
The secret sciences, the secret knowledge that these people have, that we lost, that's stolen from us.
Oh, okay.
Their knowledge.
I mean, it's so important that our good brother, his throat was slit from ear to ear for revealing a legacy of information that was stolen from our people, and he wrote a book called Stolen Legacy, and that individual is George T.M. James.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Legacy. And a subtitle is Greek Philosophy is Stolen Egyptian Philosophy. That's our sacred science. But guess what, brother? There's people attacking me on Facebook and on YouTube that haven't even read half the things that I have read. But they want to attack me. They claim they got knowledge of self. I'm like, come on, how are you going to speak? Well, I could give you a book list right now of books that you have to have and you have to read before you even bring the damn argument to the table.
Right. Right.
You got to read the Nile Valley contributions to Africa. You understand what I'm saying? By Anthony Browder. You have to read Ivan Van Sertima's work dealing with the Nile Valley civilizations. You have to read Dr. Ben's work. You have to read Walter Rodney's work, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. You have to read Charles Finch's work when it talks about echoes of the Dark Land. It's from ancient African Eden. We have to Drusilla Dunjee Houston's books. We have to read Sheikh Anta Diop's book. We got to get into what Dr. Clark taught us. Dr. Ben taught us Ashwa Kwesi, African origin of Freemasonry. Ishaka Musa Barashango deals with the African Genesis, the amazing stories of man's beginnings. These are basic things, man. Before you even bring the argument my way.
They got to have a syllabus, huh? Before they.
I mean, other than you threatening me on YouTube.
I mean, and it does happen, when you have, and most of the time they don't read, and they just, a lot of people just, they just assume that you got to be wrong because what you're talking about is kind of above what their understanding is. So,
well, people don't like when you can come at them about Christianity and where it began. People don't like when you can take it back way further than that. People don't like when you can go back into ancient Sumer and Mesopotamia and start talking about some of the things that originated during the times of that great land. People don't like that, because you're challenging. Right? You. It's not even a challenge. You're straight up telling them this is what you think you have came from.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. They don't like that, man, because it forces them to. They have to rethink basically their entire existence, their entire belief system, right there on the spot. People don't dig
right.
that.
Yeah, you're right.
But we have to understand something to that degree, bro, that they don't understand. We have to understand what our good brothers that have left us. Bobby Wright wrote The Psychopathic Racist Personality and other essays. He said that...
one more time, bro. Dr. Wright, what was the name of it?
Dr. Bobby E. Wright.
Okay.
The Psychopathic Racist Racial Personalities.
Yeah.
Personality,
okay.
pardon me.
All right,
and he said that he coined a phrase called menticide, which he defines as a deliberate and systematic destruction of a group's mind, with the ultimate objective of destroying the particular group. So we have to understand that. And so there's a saying, a Ashanti proverb that says, if you're going nowhere, any road will take you there.
Exactly.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. No
Our good brother Kaba, Booker T. Coleman, who was in the DVD Hidden Colors, he gave us the analogy of the slingshot. If you pick up a slingshot and you put a rock in it, it'll only go as far forward as you pull it back.
Very true.
You got to go back into your history as far as you want to go forward. And that's basic.
Very true.
But guess what, brothers? We are the only people, man, that fight other people for the right to kill our damn selves. The right to act stupid up in the club, man, making it rain and all this kind of madness.
Yeah.
So for the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men and good brothers and sisters to do absolutely damn nothing but run their damn mouth.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And the evidence is right before us, man.
Yes. Now I personally must apologize. See, I have a like 1,000 questions, and I may, some of this may, if people are listening, it may seem like I'm asking questions that seem like they may take us off of one path and send us on another one. But I must ask this question. There was an article recently about scientists in New Zealand saying brothels would be staffed by robot prostitutes. And it could be by 2050. Now, I've heard you talk about transhumanism. Do you think this plays a part in that?
Now, you know you're getting off way to the left,
but see, you know, things sometimes pop up in my mind. And I remembered that, and I was like, yeah.
Okay. But first of all, you have to be involved and participate in a culture that even interacts with prostitutes. Are you talking about the Secret Service, Barack Obama's security team? Who are you talking about? You're not talking about the people that's listening to this program, are you?
No, not listening to this program.
That's another subject for another time, bro. We cannot deal with that. Can I drop something on the sisters?
Yeah.
Because I definitely don't. Sisters, here's a few books that maybe will help you out in your attaining and making this transformation out of the madness in that box called religion into the wonderful world and the beautiful thing called spirituality. Sisters, there's no attack on any of the sisters that are caught up in religion. I just don't do religion. It don't do anything. It doesn't do anything for me at all. And well, you say, well, Professor Griff, I do. I'm a devout Christian and yada, yada, yada. Well, let me just put something on your mind then. I hope you don't mind. There's a book that's written by a doctor, a woman. Her name is Dr. Suzar. It's called Black Out Through Whitewash.
Black Out.
Wrap your brain around that and then kind of give me a call. Black Out Through Whitewash.
I have that as well.
Then, sisters, sisters, my phone number is 678-557-2919. I'm in the middle of writing this book, The Metaphysical Goddessry of the Soul of Hip-Hop. How we can balance this hip-hop thing out by putting the feminine energy back into hip-hop. But y'all got to bring it and bring it correct. In the Hall of Ma'at, which is truth, balance, justice, and reciprocity, when they call you, sister, you're not going to be able to take anything that our open enemy has given you as your religion. It's foreign to us. But anyway, you need to read Queen Afua's book, sisters, The Sacred Woman, a guide to healing the feminine body, mind, and spirit. You need to read Ishaka Musa Barashango's book, The African Woman and the Original Guardian Angel.
Yes.
You need to read Rich McCain's book where he talks about black African hair and the insanity of the black blonde psyche.
Wow, yeah.
You need to read Phil Valentine's book, The Wounded Womb.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So we need to begin to try to heal the womb now before we move forward to offer this balance in hip-hop so we can correct the young brothers coming up. You understand what I'm saying? That's the only way we can get these young brothers back. We got to balance hip-hop out. Hell, the only time we see a woman in hip-hop is she taking off her damn clothes. That warps and dwarfs the mind, man, and the spirit. So we have to look into these things and take these things very serious. And just for the few educators out there that are listening, I'm talking about you cyber thugs that's sitting back right now that want to send me a nasty message. But even if you do, our website is www.pgriff.info, www.pgriff.info. My email address is professorgriffpe@gmail.com. So if you're sitting back and you need some information, read Amos Wilson's book, Black on Black Violence. Once again, that's Amos Wilson's book, Black on Black
Violence.
The Psychodynamics of Black Self-Annihilation in Service to White Domination.
He's running them down, my brother. He's running them down.
So when others that are out there that truly think you internet gangsters and cyber thugs, you need to read Barudi's book, The Iwa, which is the warrior's character. You can't be that tough when you don't have no character. We don't mind you being a soldier, but you got to have some character.
Exactly.
Get back down with it, bro.
Now, real quick, I have a caller online. You mind if I take a caller real quick?
No, I don't mind.
Okay. Caller number 4. State your name and what you represent.
This is Synergism from Twitter and Facebook. I represent myself, a black woman, conscious female. I had no intentions on calling in, but this brother gave me a headache because knowledge should give you one. I couldn't even keep up with him. All I'm asking is give me the list because I know that. I'm 39, no doubt. I have my MBA. I'm working on my doctoral degree at the same time. I can always better myself. When you have a brother that has done the work, then a sister should follow that in order. So I'm asking for a list. I'm going to ask for that list to be posted in the group so I can get on my shit, bottom line. Because I'm totally motivated. I love learning. When you feel you can't learn anymore, then you just stopping yourself from where you need to be. All that shit he said is real talk. Mm-hmm. We have been brainwashed. We got, first of all, when it comes to the black family, everything he just put out there, the black family will never be the same if we just take heed to everything brother just said. We'll be where we was because we was there before.
Yep.
Got to find our way back.
Yes, exactly. So I'm just calling to remind you guys I need the list. I'm serious.
All right.
I got to get it in my library. I know I mentioned to a brother that I read so many books for school, but at the same time, if I'm still struggling to grow, I got to sit my ass down and do what I need to do, and that's read. Because knowledge is power.
That's right.
Not only read, sister, but you have to do.
No doubt. Action. Prayers don't answer themselves. Ain't no sense of bullshitting yourself and getting your knees painful for nothing. If you ain't going to do it, you playing around.
Yes, ma'am. Exactly.
And I come too far to stop right now. I can take I'm a mentor anyway. I could take some little ones behind me and get them where they need to be.
Exactly.
Because I'm reaching back.
Now, I guess we'll get the listing together. You know, it's a lot in there, so I will probably.
Yeah, it was. I can't keep up. I'm like, damn, I'm going to listen, type and talk. Brother is on point. I appreciate that, though.
Unless Brother Griff has his own listing of it, he can probably forward me. I'll have to look at listen again. I have it all written down myself, so.
But I appreciate it because some of this stuff has been across me before, but now that it's real, Sometimes when people give you knowledge, you just don't take heed at that moment because you're doing your own thing. But if that same knowledge keeps circulating in your presence, it's meant for you to take heed and grab hold to it.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
So I would just appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Great show. I would prefer to just keep listening. But next time I'll be ready. I didn't have a drink or nothing.
Thank you for calling my sister. Thank you for
You're
calling.
You're welcome. You all have a great evening. All right. Okay, bye-bye.
Let me speak to what that sister said. There's a saying by a gentleman named Thomas Paine. He said to argue with a person who has renounced the use of reason is like administering medicine to a dead person.
Wow.
Yeah, no doubt.
To argue with a person who has renounced the use of reason is like administering medicine to a dead person.
Yes.
So we have to understand that, at least if you're coming to the table, like the sister just said, you know, she's working on her degrees. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And she has a certain degree of knowledge, but she says, wait a minute, I need to get this other thing that this brother's talking about, which is a beautiful thing. And that sister just proved my point, and I hope my sons are listening, because I teach my sons, look, if you in school, man, you got to take 2 sets of notes. Take the ones that you need to write down and learn and regurgitate that madness back to them so you can get that piece of paper and get that degree. But you got to take another set of notes. And that sister just confirmed what I've been saying all along. This is that other set of notes that you need to take. So to add on to what that sister was saying, here's 2 books just for you, sister. The Goddess Black Woman, Mother of Civilization, by a brother named Brother Akil. 12 lessons to restore the image, the character, and the responsibility of the Goddess Black Woman.
Yes.
And then one very important book. Now, this one will be hard to find, sister, but just dig a little bit deeper. It's called The Awakening the Master Feminine.
Wow.
By Yao Morris. Awakening the Master Feminine. And what I'll do for the sister is get these books written down, and then what I'll do is compile a list, and I'll put it on my website, www.pgriff.info, and you can just take the list down from there.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. Wow.
You didn't mention a few. I'm going to have to go in here and pull them back off the shelf, because I ain't dug into them in about a year or so.
Right.
And a couple, obviously I need to go pick up, yours being one, no doubt. So.
Oh, good thing. I really appreciate that.
I mean, I thought I wasn't going to have another list of books to buy and whatnot. I see I didn't make it through the show without picking up more books to buy. But yeah.
Let me just say this, brother. Also, I'm going to put this list in a book that I'm writing right now. This book should be out in September. It's called The Acapella Revolution. Notice we've been talking for almost 2 hours and we ain't played one song. But there's a certain vibration going on here. Lessons. Listen, I'm learning as I'm teaching. Don't get me wrong. I'm not the best knower. Their sister just called and she talked for 2 minutes and dropped something on me. You understand what I'm saying? That I took from her just now.
Yeah.
Are you following me?
Yes.
So we have to understand that that's the whole spirit of each one teach one. And like she said, she's not that closed off where she can't learn something new.
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
Well, neither am I.
No doubt. Brother Griff, let me ask you this. In your research, have you ever come across something called sigil magic? I'm quite sure you have.
What is it called?
Sigil. S-Y-G-I-L. Yeah, sigil.
Yes, I have. Steve Coakley has set me on a mission, man, to study different forms and rituals and whatnot that illuminati go through in these different secret societies, and they've really tapped into our science, man. So what we would do in rituals and initiations and that kind of stuff, they call it magic.
Right.
Our educational system, they called it a mystery system. Our initiations, they called it a mystery. It wasn't a mystery to us.
Nope.
There you go.
This was knowledge, and we went to school up until the age 40 because we lived for 1,000 years to the good, ripe old age of 1,000. Living 1,000 years for us was nothing, man. So you get a hint and a clue of it when it talks about Methuselah in the Bible, where it talks about he lived 930 96 years, something to that degree.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a beautiful, beautiful sister by the name of Robin Walker, who wrote a very, very important book that all of the mothers should have, that's educating their daughters and their sons. It's called When We Ruled. Especially History Month, because it seems like we can only go back as far as the first damn slave that stepped off the ship during Black History Month. And if that's the origin of your history, we in bad shape. Simply because if we do one iota, one thing past what we accomplished during slavery, then we think that's progress, and that's not progress. Like the sister just said, we already had this.
You know, brother.
This gives you a peep into the word remember. We need to pull the members back together and go back, bind back to, remember, rewind, religion, rechat. You understand what I'm saying?
No doubt. Wow. I mean, and relink, like you say, relink and go back with it.
A whole bunch of rewords, man. Remind. How about remind?
Exactly. I guess our ancestors called it Sankofa. You know, and
go back and fetch it.
Yes, indeed.
As we stand at present, as we move forward, always having to go back and fetch it, the Sankofa.
Mm-hmm.
But let me just drop one last thing. We don't want to put too much on the people. But let me just drop one last thing. Look up Stephen Jacobson, Mind Control in America, and it'll give you step by step on the mind control techniques that they use to get us in education, politics, religion, especially religion. And they use these techniques that they use to get us in entertainment, labor, law, politics, sex, and war. In the introduction on page 1, now remind you, I'm reading from Stephen Jacobson's book, Mind Control in the United States. It says the most effective way to protect yourself from subconscious manipulation is to be aware of how it works. It says subliminal perception is a process, a deliberate process created by communications technicians by which you receive and respond to information and instructions without being consciously aware of the instructions. Wait a minute, did y'all just see what I said?
I heard, bro. I heard.
You will receive and respond to information and instructions without being consciously aware of the instructions. How do they do that? How do they get these desires in us? It says Mind Control in the United States in introduction to a history of practice of subliminal communication. And then it goes on to give you the necessary steps. It says just who is responsible for the intrusive experimentation with free individuals in a free society. You're not free at all because you're actually controlled. You know how many people are controlled by excuse my language. You know how many people are controlled? No, I'm doing better with those laws. How many people are I didn't curse the whole daggone show. Here I go. It says, you know how many people are controlled by iPads and iPods and iCondoms and whatever? Yeah. It says the principles of mental programming are as such. For the most effective way to conquer a man is to capture his mind. Control a man's mind and you control his body. Most people don't pay conscious attention to the things that affect them subconsciously. I'm deviating from the script now. It says that I want to say that 90% of all communication is nonverbal. It says they don't usually know what to look for. However, when pointed to these things, it can be recognized and understood. Principles of mind control are as such. Hypnotic suggestion and mental programming are ancient. The term does not matter. The principle, I'm going to say that again. The term does not matter. The principle remains the same. The goal is to suspend the thought process of the conscious mind to cause a state of mind that is just like daydreaming.
Wow.
Stop conscious thought, and the mind is in its most suggestible state, and it is more receptive to programming than at any other time. Stop conscious thinking. When you get them to put their mental guard down, that's when you can get them. Guess when that happens, brothers and sisters? Guess when that happens, brothers? When you take the drink in the club, and you party, and you with your girls or you with your homeboys. You got a few in you now. Now you party. See, your guard is down, but your energy centers are open. Mm-hmm. Therefore, the first principle of mind control is distraction. Pimp My Ride, MTV Cribs, reality shows. Distraction focuses the attention of the conscious mind on one or more of the five senses: sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste, in order to program the subconscious mind. When you stop conscious thinking, you make your mind go blank. Then your mind is in the most suggestible state. It is in this state that the mind where you are most receptive to mental programming. This state of mind is just like daydreaming, as I repeat. Now, remember the first principle behind mental programming. The principle is distraction. You have to be distracted. Listen, you have to be distracted. Tribal beats. European word over the African drum, right?
Yes.
Distracted, your energy centers is open. We can feed you what we want to feed you. Can I prove that? Yes. In my lecture, I often talk about the lowest essence of what hip-hop culture has to offer, but they give it maximum exposure. Who said that? Our good brother Black Dot said that in his book, Hip-Hop Decoded, From its Ancient Origins to Its Modern-Day Matrix, by the Black Dot. And he talked about the lowest essence of what hip-hop has to offer. So guess what? I discovered that they're putting out these commercials now. They got a Panda commercial out talking about pizza, but they're using animals. They got a Stowbay commercial out using lizards. They got a car commercial out, a Kia Soul, and they're using hamsters, and they use black sheep or beef. Using hamsters. Why you gotta use animals when they refer to black people's culture and music?
Read between the lines. Wow.
Mental program.
And I mean that's that's been pretty much. And when you talk about the beats and how it's programming you, I know there was some research done that came up with the idea that words can change DNA.
Of course, simply because words have vibration to them. Mm-hmm. Certain words, when you repeat over and over and over, it has a profound effect on the body because the body is made up of 75% water, 75% liquids. But can I drop something a little bit deeper on you, brother?
Yes, sir.
If words can affect the body because the body is made up of 3/4 with water, what will bombs do to the planet since the planet is made up of 3/4 with water?
Wow.
What will vibrations do from HAARP?
Yes.
How will you alter the planet by using chemtrails, causing earthquakes? Weather patterns being controlled by HAARP.
Because of the vibrations.
Thank you.
Wow.
Because as the word leaves my mouth, it vibrates. That's one of the Hermetic principles, the law of vibration. The law of vibration is constant. Everything vibrates. Everything is alive. We may not see it moving, but nonetheless it's vibrating. But we're getting a little bit deep into the metaphysical stuff. We'll talk about that on the next show.
Definitely. Wow. Well, we got 4 minutes left.
Let me give them my information, brother. Can I do that?
Definitely. I was just about to ask you.
Yeah, you can reach me at 678-557-2919. That's 678-557-2919 is my phone number. My website is www.pgriff.info. My email address is professorgriffpe@gmail.com. You can purchase my book, The Psychological Covert War on Hip Hop, at PayPal, pcwhiphop@gmail.com. That's pcwhiphop@gmail.com. My first book, RIP, Resource Information Publication, is out of print. I'm not printing it up anymore. Analytics, I have boxes of those, 20 years of conversations and interviews with the Minister of Information, Professor Griff. And that's it, man. Just I'm a real brother. I'm approachable. Hopefully I'm still on this re-educational tour with Umar Abdullah Johnson and other people. We're doing things in Atlanta, Baltimore, St. Louis, Detroit, especially Detroit. I'm trying to work I was just in Brooklyn a couple of weeks ago. So I'm going to be doing more lectures. I really appreciate you, brothers, man, for giving me a few minutes, man, to bless these sacred airways.
youtube.com/openupyourmind101